So this is AC Starlord 29, and welcome to my channel once again. And I'm going to be talking about something in the Scream universe, and this will be my last video until I see Scream 5, or what is simply just called Scream. The legacy characters return just like Halloween Kills. Um, Actually, technically, that's not true. This might be my second to last video because I might do a Halloween Kills video, but I don't know when that's going to happen. But this should be my last video until I see Scream. But anyways, the legacy characters are going to come back and that. But this is episode. So this episode is going to be mainly about something that's in the Scream universe, written by, told and written. There was a book and screenplay told by one of the characters in the movie, one of the legacy characters. So from the very first movie, all the stuff, all the events that happened to Sydney and her friends, like uh, Billy Loomis, Stu, um, Randy, and all that stuff. Even Gale Weathers and Dewey and all that stuff. All that event from the very first movie spawned a story, a book turned into a movie written by Gale Weathers called Stab, and it spawned out that book spawned a movie at the very end of the first Scream movie. When we see in the second movie, they make a movie out of Gale Weathers' book called Stab, and then you see Stab as basically the same events of Scream, the first movie, except mainly the story of that is about Sydney and her friends, like I just mentioned, Billy Loomis, Stu, Randy, and even herself, Gale Weathers, and Dewey. The original story for Scream is actually very interesting as well. Going back from how they got the story for Stab, is basically Scream was actually um, referenced as something that actually happened in real life with these four teenagers getting murdered, and the writer of Scream turned that into Scream itself. So it actually, Stab was actually inspired by also a true event, and so is Scream. So basically, Stab was basically in the universe of Scream, inspired um, by Sydney and her friends, and Gale Weathers got publicity for the book and for the movie because it was a screen, straight from her book and screenplay from exactly from her point of view of Stab. And then Stab became a big success in part two, where you see Jada Pinkett Smith with her boyfriend watching the very first Stab movie, which was referencing Drew Barrymore in the very first half of the first movie as a different actress, of course, and then different actresses playing Sydney and Billy Loomis and all that stuff. And then even in the third movie, they reference Stab again, but by it's a couple years later, they did Stab 2, and then of course by when we got 2, 3, it was Stab. I believe it was Stab 3, and that was also still referencing the events of Sidney Prescott. And then when we get to 4, they went all the way up to 6. They went all the way up to 7 movies of Stab. Now, Scream itself only has 4 movies, including this new one that's about to be out this Friday. So that's 5 movies so far. But my whole thing is that they're going to do a movie in itself. I wonder if they're going to reboot the movie inside the movie Stab. Or is Stab going to get a number 8 or number 9 by the time we see this new screen, well, this new movie inside of a movie inside Scream. Now, Stab looks very interesting every single time because it's basically Ghostface, where you still get the reference of Ghostface in the actual movie itself, but Ghostface is actually the main character in Stab, and Ghostface is different people, obviously, like the original movie, but also has the same voice changing because they reference it in the fourth movie where everyone's trying to emanate the voice of Ghostface, and everyone knows who Ghostface is because of Stab, because Gal Weathers made it that way where the character, the killer's name Ghostface. So Ghostface is heavily prevalent on there, but the posters of Stab, each one is green. And when they did the second movie, when you see Stab 1, everyone had Ghostface costumes, but the plastic knife was green, like actual green, not glow in the dark, but just green. And just is very interesting how they have a movie inside of a movie, and it spawned 7 movies by the time we get to the actual franchise, the real franchise for by the actual franchise, which was number 4. It spawned 7 movies, and they do several different openings in the fourth movie, showing you about showing you the 7 Stab openings, and then they have a Stabathon in the fourth movie, referencing that these movies been on forever. So that would be interesting to have a spin off of this actual movie inside the movie Stab. I know that that's not what they're going to do, but hopefully one day we get like a spin-off movie series of the movie inside the movie, so that movie can also reference that movie inside that movie, because they constantly reference Stab inside, well, that inside the movie that it's based off of, Scream. So they constantly reference, in Scream, they constantly reference Stab. What if we get the spinoff, and the spinoff, which should be called Stab, or is Stab, reference references the movie that it's based off of, called Scream. It's called Scream. So that would be interesting. I know that they're probably not going to do that, but what if there was a way that they could do a spinoff? I would love to see that. Just like how in the Fast and Furious franchise, going off there real quick, how Hobbs and Shaw was a spinoff from Hobbs and Shaw, the two characters in the Fast franchise, had their own spinoff show. What if that happened with Stab and Scream? That would be great. But I don't know if that's going to happen, but that would be great because this movie and cyber movie to me was very interesting when they first introduced it, because why go to the measures of actually um, making a story by Gal Weathers, a fictional character, turned into a movie, and turned into a book first, and then turned to a movie, and then go off and spawn 7 movies of a movie inside a movie. So that's just interesting to me, and hopefully one day we do get a spinoff. And if we did get a spinoff, hopefully we can get up to really actually 7 movies of it, because that would be ironic because they show 7 movies in the fourth, supposedly the final chapter, but it's not. But hopefully my dreams and hopes of seeing the new Scream, hopefully they reference Stab, or they have Stab they have Stab 9 like they do with Fast 9, or even Stab 10 or Stab 11. We don't know, but hopefully they do have that same movie referenced in the newer movie. But yes, Stab seems like a very interesting show. I wish that was, interesting movie, show, whatever you like to call movies. It was very interesting. I wish that was actually a real movie called Stab, but a movie inside of a movie called Stab, that's very interesting. because those characters inside that movie reference this movie all the time, including they're having a Stabathon in the fourth installment of the movie that it's in. That's just awesome. The kids of Woodsboro gets to get together and re-show the first three, or well, they mentioned the first three movies of Stab, but also still show the other seven movies. So, and it's an annual thing of Stab they have every year. So that's pretty cool. But if you don't, if you want to see this, if you do want to see a Stab a spinoff, put a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment, and you know what to do. And hopefully, Ghostface for two different Ghostface from two different movies don't get you, because that'll be sad. Peace out.